Hey there, welcome to the Let Go place. This is your gentle pause from the chaos. Can I introduce you to someone? This quiet little thing has been by your side since the day you were born, helping you cross the street, and now stopping you from putting your phone in the fridge. It doesn't make a scene. It doesn't post selfies. This thing is called mindfulness. This content is translated from the teaching by Buddhatas Bhikkhu, Suan Mok, Thailand. Some explanations have been added to make the material more accessible for those new to Buddhist-based mental training.
Mindfulness, the superpower that ends suffering.
Mindfulness, or Sati, is the key to ending suffering. When mindfulness meets each moment in time, wisdom arises and suffering ends. Suffering. Everyone wants to escape from it. Can we? Yes, it has been proven for more than 2,000 years. Mindfulness, or Sati, that's all we need to extinguish suffering. However, we must truly understand it, truly have it. Come here, have a closed look. Mindfulness, we don't really know what it is, even though it's something that's already within us. Let's start from instinct. Instinct is a form of knowledge or feeling that arises naturally in living beings. Among all instincts, the instinct to survive and to maintain one's existence is the most fundamental. To maintain life, a being requires many cooperating instincts. Among them is the ability to be aware quickly, known as mindfulness or Sati. This kind of mindfulness arises instinctively. Living beings can only stay alive because they have natural mindfulness. Without it, they wouldn't be able to do anything. Mindfulness is the ability to be alert, to sense danger, to respond quickly. This is mindfulness at the instinctual level. It is not something you need to go and find. It's already in you. Without it, you couldn't walk, eat, or even think properly. Mindfulness, meaning a sane, conscious state. So truly, mindfulness is a natural faculty in all living things. We should be deeply grateful for that. Without it, we'd be like someone drunk or asleep. Try walking with your eyes closed. Try eating, working, or performing daily tasks with your eyes shut. You'll see how difficult it is because you're missing the awareness that keeps you awake and alert. When we walk without tripping, when we avoid bumping into a tree, when we can perform any action skillfully, it's because of this thing called mindfulness or Sati. But here's the thing, the basic level of mindfulness is not enough. Most of us have this kind of mindfulness, but do not recognize or appreciate it. We are not interested in understanding what mindfulness really is. Now is the time to truly know it, to cultivate it, develop it, and raise it to a level that serves our full potential as human beings. If we only stay at the natural level, we're no different from animals. That's why the Buddha taught us to develop mindfulness, to raise it to a higher level, to refine it so it serves the true potential of human life. That's what Dharma practice is for, to train and elevate this natural awareness into something profound. Let's see the example. Mindfulness has many levels. There is mindfulness like a dry leaf, mindfulness like a dried coconut, and mindfulness like a stone. Mindfulness at the level of a dry leaf, when it falls into a stream, it has no real strength. Weak mindfulness is like a child with Down syndrome, unable to control or direct itself, simply drifting along with the current, carried away by whatever comes. Mindfulness at the level of a dried coconut. Here mindfulness has some degree of restraint and balance. It is like a coconut falling into a stream. Sometimes it floats and we see the moods clearly. At other times it drifts away with them. For example, when we are in a critical situation, such as an accident, mindfulness sharpens and we become alert and aware. But later, when we return home, shower, and lie in bed, mindfulness fades and we flow with moods again. Mindfulness like a stone. This is for those who have trained. The observer can separate moods from the body and from thoughts. It is like a stone falling into a stream, remaining firm and unmoved by the current, simply resting still, yet fully knowing what is happening. Whether it is pleasant or unpleasant feelings or thoughts, they are seen as if one were standing by the roadside, watching cars pass by, without stepping in to interfere. When we repeatedly train mindfulness in this way, separating from moods again and again, separating from thoughts again and again, separating from the body again and again, then mindfulness becomes clearer. We begin to see that what we once believed to be ourselves is not truly us at all. That is why mindfulness is so crucial. It allows us to step back, to awaken, to become aware, as though we were dreaming and then suddenly wake up. Mindfulness in Pali called Sati. The root meaning of Sati is to move or to flow. It shares the same origin as the word for an arrow, something that flies through the air. Mindfulness or Sati is that movement, the ability to bring knowledge or memory back into the present moment. You may know many things, but if that knowledge doesn't come to you at the right time, that's the absence of mindfulness. You may remember something important, but if it doesn't come up when needed, it's useless. Mindfulness is what brings it back. It's the delivery system, the messenger. Without mindfulness, your wisdom arrives too late. Or not at all. That's when mistakes happen. That's when suffering follows. So think of mindfulness as the vehicle, the one that brings your memory, your knowledge, your wisdom, right to the moment you need it. That's what allows you to respond wisely. That's what keeps your life in balance. And that's why the cultivation of mindfulness is so essential in the Buddhist path. The Buddha taught us to train and refine mindfulness to make it sharp, fast, and wise. Why? Because every moment of contact through the senses, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, has the potential to spark defilements. Human beings are equipped with 6 sense doors: the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. When sense objects, sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and mental impressions come into contact with these doors, perception occurs. Then comes feeling of desire, aversion, or confusion, because the mind reacts so fast. We fall in love, we hate, we fear within seconds. Here comes the feeling. Then we do whatever, good or bad, to jump into these traps. The mind flows and mindfulness is too slow to catch it. Defilements arise. This is how suffering begins. This is the law of dependent origination in Buddhism, which is the flow of defilement from contact, to feeling, to craving, to clinging, to suffering. But if mindfulness is trained, if it's fast enough, it can intercept the chain. From contact, not to feeling, not to craving, not to clinging, not to suffering. Mindfulness breaks the chain. It stops the flood. If we are mindful, wisdom arises in time. If not, ignorance and suffering follow. The mindfulness we are born with, or natural mindfulness, is not enough. You'll see it for yourself. We forget where we placed something. We forget whether we closed the window. We space out. We act carelessly day after day. That's from lack of mindfulness, so we must train it. Trained mindfulness becomes a strength, becomes a governing faculty, becomes part of awakening. There are 2 levels to this. 1. The first level is to have sufficient mindfulness to survive, to live safely and correctly, to not die prematurely. 2. The second level is, once survival is secured, to continue developing until we reach the highest, the realization of the noble path, the fruit, and nirvana. To survive, we need great mindfulness. Now, once we survive and live rightly, we benefit from mindfulness in that way. But then comes the second phase, developing mindfulness even further, to eradicate the subtle forms of suffering, to overcome latent tendencies and mental outflows. So how do we train it? In Buddhism, there are 4-step training. 1. Training through the body. We train ourselves to understand the body fully, to investigate, to explore, to observe it thoroughly in all aspects. Whether it's the physical body, flesh and skin, or the breath or wind body, both are considered aspects of the body in practice. We study the body deeply, according to the method laid out by the Buddha. As a result, we gain sufficient knowledge of the body and develop sufficient mindfulness regarding the body. So, when problems arise in daily life that concern the body, we are equipped with the wisdom and mindfulness to address them. It doesn't matter how often these issues arise, because we've trained in the body aspect, we are prepared to respond with clarity and awareness.
2. Training through the feelings. The feeling that arises which are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. These are used as objects of mindfulness and wisdom training, just like with the body. We come to understand feelings of rapture, happiness, and how these condition the mind. We learn to regulate and restrain these influences. If we successfully practice to understand our feelings, we develop clear insight into feelings and strong mindfulness to handle them as they arise. We will no longer get caught in delight over pleasant feelings, nor fall into aversion, anger, or fear over unpleasant ones. We become skillful or quick and precise in applying mindfulness and wisdom to cut through attachment or resistance to feelings. This is the fruit of mastering mindfulness of feeling. 3. Training through our mind. The third foundation is the mind itself. We take the mind as our object of observation, training both mindfulness and wisdom to understand its movements. We learn to see the mind clearly, when it's pleased or displeased, when it's concentrated or distracted, when it clings or lets go. We train to regulate the mind, to keep it upright, joyful, steady, and free. When problems concerning the mind arise, we're ready to meet them, not with panic or reactivity, but with mindfulness and understanding. Though the mind is swift, like lightning, this training gives us the ability to intercept its reactions. Don't be discouraged by how fast the mind moves. If you train properly and consistently, you can block even the subtlest mental fabrications and impulses. 4. Training through mental phenomena or Dhamma. This is the training of all phenomena that arise through body, feeling, and mind. These include the appearance of defilements, the experience of suffering, the structure of conditioned existence, everything related to inner mental life. We take all of these as objects of practice to generate mindfulness and deep understanding.
The essence here is insight into the truth of life, which is everything is impermanent, stressful, and not self. Impermanence or anicca means not lasting. Suffering or dukkha means subject to suffering. Non-self or anatta means not self. All of these can be summed up simply as, it's just so. When we understand this just so deeply enough, whenever anything arises, beautiful or ugly, pleasant or unpleasant, mindfulness arises instantly, and says, it's just like that. Beauty comes through the eye, and mindfulness, with its understanding of just so, immediately steps in. There is no infatuation. Ugly forms arise, and again, just so, steps in, no hatred, no rejection. Whatever arises, through eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, or mind, whether it comes in a form that is lovely or loathsome, pleasant or frightening, it all gets met with, it's just so. That's the power of mindfulness and wisdom working together. In truth, the world offers only two things, things that make us fall in love and things that make us hate. That's all. But when mindfulness and wisdom are strong enough, even love and hate lose their meaning. Everything simply becomes it's just so. The Buddha selected these four as the most essential foundation for mindfulness training, because they encompass everything, from the lowest to the highest, from mundane worldly affairs to supramundane liberation. If one maintains proper mindfulness in these four areas, body, feeling, mind, and Dhamma, then no defilements can arise. May each and every one of you come to truly know what is called mindfulness. Mindfulness has been with us from the moment we were born. It grew silently alongside us, so silently that we often fail to see its value. That moment of contact occurs, and the mind begins to react, to like or dislike, to cling or resist. Mindfulness can interrupt that current. And the mind will not flow blindly into suffering. No matter what you believe, no matter what tradition you follow, suffering arises in this way. And the end of suffering must also come in this same way. Ultimately, everything comes down to this one word, mindfulness. All practice is really about cultivating mindfulness. Mindfulness is the awakening factor in the human world. It's what turns spiritual sleep into awakening. Train it until it arrives like an arrow, fast and precise, and the stream of defilements will have no way to flow. This is the heart of the path. Develop mindfulness deeply, until it's not just natural, but liberating. Then, you will survive, and go beyond survival, to freedom, to nirvana.
Thanks for watching The Let Go Place, your gentle pause from the chaos. More inspiring Dhamma talks from respected monks in Thailand will come soon. I see you next time, unless enlightenment gets you first.